New social studies standards for Oklahoma schools are put on pause for now. This after the state Supreme Court in Oklahoma ruled that new standards should not play out until a lawsuit over the new standards wrap up. State Superintendent Ryan Walters introduced the new standards this year. 33 Oklahomans are part of a lawsuit that claims the new social studies standards promote Christianity to students. Today's state Supreme Court ruling means standards from 2019 will stay in place and that the state cannot spend any funds now on those new standards. President Trump making official his plans to send federal troops to Memphis tonight. Erica Brown explains the role the Guard members are expected to play in cracking down on crime in that city.
President Trump signed a memorandum Monday establishing a Memphis Safety Task Force as part of his crackdown on violent crime.
The effort will include the National Guard as well as the FBI, ATF, DEA, ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, and the U.S. Marshals.
The move comes after the president announced he would deploy National Guard troops to the city.
In 2024, Memphis had the highest violent crime rate, the highest property crime rate, and the third highest murder rate of any city in the nation.
For weeks, the president has also threatened to send troops to Chicago, sparking pushback from state officials.
Chicago does not want troops on our streets.
President Trump's crackdown on crime also comes as his administration takes aim at what they're calling left-wing extremism, following the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
But the radical left really is caused a lot of problems for this country. I really think they hate our country.
Monday, Vice President J.D. Vance hosted Kirk's podcast and vowed to dismantle institutions that promote violence.
We have to talk about this incredibly destructive movement of left-wing extremism that has grown up over the last few years, and I believe is part of the reason why Charlie was killed by an assassin's bullet.
The investigation into the motive of Kirk's assassination is ongoing. The suspect in the shooting, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, is scheduled to be arraigned on Tuesday. President Trump will attend Kirk's memorial in Arizona this weekend. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
Tomorrow, the president leaves for a state visit to the UK. Now, that trip will include a state dinner at Windsor Castle with the royal family and a day of meetings with the country's prime minister. Well, tonight at the University of Arkansas Fort Smith, the campus hosting a vigil for Charlie Kirk. Of course, died last week at the age of 31 when he was shot and killed in Utah. Tonight's event sponsored by the school's chapter of the organization Kirk founded, Turning Point USA.
Having open dialogue is the most important thing we can have in this world, and when the event happened, it's like it just comes to show how some humans are, and they don't appreciate what they are given, and so they take it out on others when they hate something.
Before this, obviously Charlie was a monolithic figure. He was a legend. He did a lot of good work for this country, I believe, and now it's up to people like me and Connor and the rest of people at Turning Point to be able to go out there and do what he is unfortunately now unable to do.
Meanwhile, State Farm Stadium in Arizona is where Kirk's memorial will take place on Sunday. The stadium is home to the Arizona Cardinals, can seat more than 60,000 people. Turning Point USA has invited the public to attend the ceremony to celebrate Kirk's life. Developing tonight, Arkansas Game and Fish telling us the victim in that bear attack this month in Franklin County has died. It happened near the Mulberry Mountain Lodge off Pig Trail Highway. Now, the victim, identified as Vernon Patton, actually died yesterday. He was reportedly working on a tractor on the side of the road when he was attacked by the bear on September 3rd. State Game and Fish say they believe the attack was unprovoked and say the bear was killed. Necropsy testing continues on the animal's remains, and so far it's come back negative for rabies and distemper. They say it was the first bear attack in the natural state in at least 25 years. Developing tonight, investigators in North Little Rock giving an update after last Friday's shooting at the football game against Benton there. Police don't believe any shots were fired inside the stadium or on campus. Now, going forward, they say they plan to implement new safety measures. The district superintendent spoke today about how it plans to reinforce safety policies, including enhanced patrol near all future home games.
We're doing everything that we can within our power to ensure that everyone remains safe, not only on our campuses, but on our after-school events. Anytime we have an incident in the North Little Rock School District, we immediately have an after-action debrief. We've done that this morning with our central office staff as well as our high school staff to debrief what went well and what maybe didn't go well or some areas to work on.
North Little Rock police have not identified a suspect or person of interest yet in this shooting. New at 10 tonight, Madison County Sheriff's Office says Canine Enzo will soon be getting a bullet and stab protective vest. They shared news on social media today with this picture of Enzo. Now, the vest coming from the nonprofit Vested Interest in Canines, Inc. The Sheriff's Office says Enzo's vest will also memorialize a canine from Jonesboro that died in 2020. That vest should be delivered in about 10 weeks. Folk Music School in Fayetteville facing an uncertain future. That is until Winslow-based nonprofit Ozark Folkways stepped in to keep the music playing. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer tells us how a tradition is being kept alive.
The goal of Folkways is really to preserve, develop, instruct, and celebrate regional arts, crafts, and music.
The music that usually filled the halls of the Walker Stone House went silent on August 9th.
I've learned from Folkways and Folk School really the joy of being a beginner at something.
But soon it'll ring out again. Ozark Folkways is taking over operations of the Fayetteville Folk School after the school's founders announced they were leaving the country.
To imagine what it might look like to exist in this historic building as well. Buildings that have roots.
Keeping the school downtown hasn't been easy. City leaders debated whether to sell the house or change the lease before finally approving the new plan.
One of the most historic homes in our town.
Situated near the square, it's 180 years old to be exact, says historian J.B. Hogan.
Seems to me it's kind of perfect for it in a way.
It still bears scars from the Civil War.
They were right on that hill and started cranking rounds at Fayetteville. And one of them hit the side of this house over here.
And for Hogan, keeping the house alive with music is just fine as long as the past isn't lost.
As long as the external structure remains as close to what it was as you can possibly keep it. That's all that matters to me.
Now, instead of cannon fire, the sound will be guitars, fiddles, and voices once again.
They've given us their blessing to carry on their legacy, which we're real thankful for.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Now, if the Fayetteville Advertising and Promotions Commission finalizes the lease next Monday, Ozark Folkways says classes and concerts could start again October 1st. Well, Bentonville hosting Retail Innovation Week this week. The annual conference's welcome reception happening tonight at the Ledger. Events will continue throughout the rest of the week with roughly 1,000 industry professionals expected to be there. Organizers say the goal is to showcase the Northwest Arkansas region's unique position in the retail industry. One of the biggest events of the week is the Embark Summit happening tomorrow at the Momentary.